Hello people and welcome to the Games of Nations and Gaming Potato. Now what I'm going to do here is sort of like a unboxing and review at the same time kind of thing. Because this game's quite old and I've played it, completed it, whatever. But I've also just got something and I'm going to unbox them all for you because I've got several different editions. This game came out at the end of last year. It was fairly underrated, and I thought it was quite a good game. It's one of my favourite first-person shooters available. I highly recommend it. You should probably get it quite cheap now. I know I got the PC edition fairly cheap recently. So, the game is Rage, developed by id Software and published by Bethesda. It's a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter. It's got some RPG elements, not very good, so don't buy it if you're an RPG, like if you're a hardcore RPG person. There is nothing there to satisfy you other than being able to build a few things and there being a relatively open world. Yeah, I'm going to get on with it. I've got Standard Edition, Collector's Edition, and they Collector's Pack, which was an extra thing, which I haven't actually opened, which I'm going to do now. First up, we've got the Standard Edition. This is the one I got first, the Xbox 360. There we go, it's just the standard game. Now, what you get in the standard game, you get obviously your manual. It's a fairly substantial manual for today's size. It's about 20 pages, so yes. And it does have an online pass that isn't an online pass. It has multiplayer. However, the online pass gives you access to missions in single player, which I thought was a bit silly. I hadn't actually played the tour. They're called the tour missions. I hadn't played them until fairly recently because I didn't actually know where to find them. They're quite well hidden, and they literally do nothing. They're there for collectibles to earn money in the game. That's pretty much the only reason why. So if you get that new, you get that as well. That's with all editions, as you can tell. And with the Xbox 360 edition, it comes on 3 discs, which is a fairly, you'd expect it to be a fairly substantial game, but actually it's only about 8 hours long. The third disc is multiplayer, the first 2 discs are single player. Multiplayer consists of racing, and it's the racing element of the game where you battle cars in arenas. It's an okay multiplayer, but it's got nothing, like, you can rank up, you can unlock stuff, but it's nothing overly substantial, and you'll probably forget about it within a few matches. The single player game itself, you know, the story was pretty crappy because it's an id game, so the stories are always pretty crappy. You wake up, the world has gone to shit after a meteor hit the Earth. You are one of the only survivors because you was picked to be chosen. You was chosen to survive. You go out into the world, and now there's this oppressive government, I suppose they are, organisation kind of thing, that want to kill you and hunt you down and blah blah blah, and you're fighting against them. You don't actually know that until about 6 hours in, and then about 8 hours and you've completed it. You know, the story's a bit crappy, but the gameplay makes up for it. Anyway, next up we have the Anarchy edition, which it was essentially the collector's edition. I own the collector's edition on PS3 and PC. I'm going to show you the PC version first. PC version, here we go. Now you may notice, if I compare it to the Xbox 360 version, if you look down in the corner that says 15, this says 18, and I have no idea why, because on the discs it says 15 as well. So, if your parents are strict about what you play and you want to play this is completely fine. It is exactly the same game as the 15 version. There is absolutely no difference at all. I think the only reason it may have 18 on it is perhaps graphical standards, because this is superior on PC in terms of graphics. And might I add, the graphics are actually pretty damn amazing. You will need a pretty good PC to play it. I can run it on my laptop, which I'm actually very surprised about, but you will need a fairly good PC to be able to run it at substantial standards. It takes 25 gig memory, and you will also need a Steam account for PC. PC edition also comes on 3 discs, exactly the same discs as before. You won't need them when playing, because it's Steam game. You get your CD key there. You can see a little white sticker there, hopefully. Very faint, possibly, I don't know. And then you get the sewer missions again, and that's the collector's edition content. You get a gun, which was pretty crap. You get a melee weapon, which is pretty crap. You get a car, which is pretty crap, and you get some armor, which is absolutely amazing. So, and I think actually, the collector's edition is now cheaper than the normal edition, I think. I don't know why. Manual, same manual as before, and for some reason it has Xbox 360 controls on the back of it. It's a bigger manual because it comes in different languages. So if you can read different languages and you want to read this manual in a different language, you can, which is happy days. So yes, I'm going to put this back. PC version, I encounter frame rate issues on rather regularly, but this may be that my PC just isn't up to the standards to run it well enough. So yes, that was the PC version. Next up, we have the PlayStation 3 version of the game. This is also the Anarchy edition. It's on the hard drive indicator. It says 8 gig. I didn't do gigabytes for Xbox, but it's literally a couple of meg for a game. So even if you choose to install it, it is roughly 21 gigabytes. Apparently, this only says 8 gig to install. Now, I'm pretty sure it's actually larger than that. PlayStation version comes on a single disc. This is a single disc Blu-ray. You get the same manual, but this time it has PlayStation controls on the back. Thank Christ for that. It's about 20 pages again. Yes, again, same downloadable content, but you get nice artwork on the inside of this one, whereas you don't with the other two. Right, so that was the actual game, and I have sort of reviewed it, so I am now going to get on with the Collector's Pack, which was available upon release with the games, and you couldn't get it anywhere else upon release. And I don't know how the hell I managed to find this on Amazon, but I ordered it the other day and it's just arrived today. It cost me £3. PlayStation version I got in a sale and it was £7. PC version I got for £3 and that wasn't in a sale. So on Amazon it's quite cheap. I got it from the game collection, and I had a code. I had a promotional code. That's the only reason why I got it from there. On Xbox version I don't know how much that cost because it was a gift, but it was soon after release, so I'm guessing it was about £20. So yes, I'll open this. It contains, as far as I know, it doesn't actually contain anything for the game. That's the front cover, that's the back cover, that's the side. It says Rage Collector's Pack. It is also rated 15, contains strong violence and language. If you're picky about that stuff. Right, first thing that falls out is a rather substantial, might I say, comic book. Just titled Rage by Dark Horse Comics. Also has an advert for the Doom book, not Doom, Rage book. It's quite well designed, you can see. It's rather thick. It's, I don't know, I'd say about 50 odd pages, maybe slightly more. So it's weighted, it's got weight to it, I'll give it that. And you also have Rage the Making of DVD. And that's it. So that's the collector's pack. Is there anything in here? No, I don't think so. So, what does it say on the back? The collector's pack includes the game. No. The collector's pack includes the game, a making of DVD, and 2 Rage comic books. And the Anarchy edition content. Right, so it doesn't, because this hasn't come with the game. It's only got 1 comic book in it, unless they bind it together in that same one. I cannot find the Anarchy edition content. So, it's essentially... For me, that's okay. That's what I ordered it for. I ordered it for the DVD and the comic book. I got the DVD and the comic book. However, apparently I'm meant to receive 2, It's also meant to come with a copy of the game and Anarchy Edition content, which it hasn't. But oh well, I've got the game 3 times over, the Anarchy Edition content 3 times over because I downloaded it off Xbox Live for a very reasonable price of about 160 points. You know, I like Rage. I'm probably going to watch this tonight or whenever. Don't think I've got anything else to watch. It's just a making of DVD, probably nothing special. So that is Rage. If I was to give the game a score out of 10, I'd give it an 8. I would give it an 8, and that's simply because of gameplay. It's one of the best shooters I've played in years. Anyway, thanks for watching, people. It's probably a fairly long video. Sorry for going on. Please check out the other videos on my channel, on Games of Nations, on other channels. I expect you to watch other channels, so you know, watch their stuff as well. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and thanks again.